Good evening. I'm going to be teaching a class today on creating a PowerPoint presentation. This is going to be a basic PowerPoint presentation, so it's not going to get into all the nicks and crannies that you can do with PowerPoint, but just the basic overview of it. So some things I'm going to go over today is just how to do a title page, how to add words, resizing text boxes or pictures, adding background color themes, adding a new slide, adding pictures, and adding transitions. So we'll exit this out of here. I'm using a Mac, so my PowerPoint is going to be down here in the dock. I'm going to click it, and this is what it comes up to. So I have the opportunity to select a theme, or I could just hit blank presentation. For this one, I'm just going to hit blank presentation. I could double click on it, or I can go down here to the create. I'm going to just hit the create, and this is what the screen comes up to. This is pretty universal. Any PowerPoint that opens is going to come up just like this. So you have these buttons up here: home, insert, design, transitions, animation, slideshow, review, view, all kinds of stuff hidden in those. So for this one, for the creation of a PowerPoint, I came up with a little class. It's going to be all about me. Just a good icebreaker presentation just to go over the basics. So for the title, I'm going to name it All About Me. And then for a subtitle, typically you're going to put who created it. So it's going to be by Heather Grooms. And there we have our words. If you want to change the font, you can click on your text box. It makes it active. Scroll over. And then come up here to the fonts. And I can choose whichever one I like. So if I like that one, or if I want to make it a little bigger, I can make it a little bigger with that, or I can just select that and then make it how I like. The same thing with that. I can double click like I did, or I can just drag my mouse over to the left. Once again, picking the font that I like. Something else we could do is that we could change our text box size. So if I want to make it to where it's on top of each other, I just drag this little box here to the left. Same thing that these do here. Pretty much have the opportunity to make it however you like. So the next step is going to be adding a background color. So I'm going to go to my design. I got some pre-made themes up here, or I can do format background. And you got solid fill, gradient, you can add a picture. If I do solid fill, let's just hit on the gray. Or if I want to make it a gradient, I just click that, and now it's a gradient. Something to note is if whenever I add a new slide, if I want this color to be on all of them, I would do apply to all. If I don't like the background, I would just hit reset background. Again, so I'm going to add a gradient. I'm going to then change the theme. I want something different. I'm just going to go over here, select this one here. And there we go. So we have my solid fill there, which is the background there, and then the theme that I like. So then moving on to the next part of this is going to be adding a new slide. So if I want to add a new slide, I'm just going to go up here to the new slide, or I can come down here and I can right click and add new slide. So as you see, this slide is different than the first slide. So like I said, we come over here to apply all. So because I had this one active, that means that that all the slides are going to look like this one. If I'd had this one active, then the background would have been blue on this slide. So now we're back to just the normal white. So now we're back to adding another title. So this page is going to be called My Family. And this is where we have a little fun and get to add some pictures. So this little tab here, highlighted, allows us to add pictures. We just got to make sure that we find our picture folder. So for a assignment like this, you want to make sure that the students have pictures on hand or have access to the internet to be able to get pictures that they can put into their PowerPoint presentation. So I already have some pictures saved to my desktop. I'm just going to go to my family folder, and here are my pictures. So I can double click on it, or I can just click on it, hit insert. Another way I can do it is I can go to my folder, which is on my desktop, slideshow, make sure I'm in my family, and then I can also just drag them in. Another little tactic you can do is if you want to add all three at once, you just select the first one, you go down the bottom, hit shift, and now all three are selected, and I click on it and I drag it in to my PowerPoint. So they're all going to be active at this point. So it's going to need to click off to the side, and now I can resize my pictures just like that, and I can add them wherever I like. That is the beauty of PowerPoint, is you get the opportunity to create what you want, how you want it, and you just build it. So just going to put pictures like that. Might resize this one just a little bit more. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to name what these are. So I can double click here, or I can go to my home screen and add a text box, or like I said, I could double click down here. I can type nieces, and then I just move it to where I want it. Same here. It's my brother and me. Move this text box where I want it. And this one is my sister-in-law and me. And there we go. And I move it how I want it. And there's my family page. So now if I want to add a new slide, again, new slide, or I just right click, hit new slide, and there it is again. So this one, we'll make it my pets. Again, I can go to this text box here, open it up. I'm going to go to my animals. I'm going to do the trick again, select the first one, highlight all the way down to the bottom, and hit insert. And there's all my pictures. So, like I said, they're all active when they enter into the PowerPoint. So if you want to shrink them all down, because they're pretty big right now, together, you just grab one of them, and you just shrink them all the way down. And you click off. Now they're not active, and you can move them around individually. So something else you could do to have a little fun is you can rotate the picture. So this little circle here, you can rotate it to the right or rotate it to the left, however you like. Again, we're going to add some names to this. So this one here is Diesel. And I'm going to use a circle again just to move my words around. This is my cat, Junior. And my little puppy dog, Bailey. And then my guinea pig, Dozer. So there we have it. We're just adding slides. So the PowerPoint can continue on. You know, it can go like what I like to do, what I like to eat, what I like to color. One thing you got to do, just something that everyone should know how to do, is how to add transitions. So up here, hit the transition tabs. You have tons already preset. So if I hit wind, that's how it's going to come in. If I want to see how it's going to be, I can come down here to this button right here. I click it, and there's my title page. I'm going to change the all about me, my family, and my pets, and that's the end of the show. So my pet, there it is. Because we were playing with it earlier, it was not in view. So if I do this, there we go, all about me. So for the sake of time, I went ahead and finished my PowerPoint. Just kind of give you an idea of the transition and how it all comes together. I'm going to go into my slideshow pictures, my finished slideshow, and then here we have it. So, All About Me by Heather Grooms. So to see it in real time, I'm going to click on this button here, All About Me. I can right click and it will move the screen, or I can arrow to the right, which is going to come to my family, my nieces, sister-in-law, my brother, my pets. I finished at what I like to do. I like to coach, obstacle courses, work out. What I like to eat, desserts. I like what my favorite color is. Again, this is just a basic PowerPoint just to kind of do an introduction to the program, but also allow the students to talk about themselves a little bit and find pictures that may be of them or things that they like. My favorite thing about school is recess and the end of the slideshow. So today we learned about title page, adding words, resizing text boxes, pictures, adding a background color, adding additional slides, adding pictures, and adding transitions. Again, very basic, but a great introduction to this program. I do truly thank you all for listening, and I hope that you were able to take something from it and that you can incorporate into your classes later on. Hope you all have a great weekend.